If I've led you to the Lord, then I'm like a father to you. But, verse 14, behold, the third time I am ready to come to you, and I will not be burdensome to you. So sense, if I've led you to the Lord, then I'm like a father to you. The Catholics get it wrong because they actually take the title father. So to take the title father. So Jesus, when he says about calling a man father, he's talking about in a religious sense. Well, how do you know that? Well, because the Bible says, honor thy father and mother. So the title, the word father refers to your, who gave birth to you. You're not to take a religious title, father, whatever. And some of these people, when they were attacking me, striped cat going on behind my back, friends of the ministry, I thought, and they were calling me Father Bryan. Striped cat going on behind my back, friends of the ministry, I thought, and they were calling me Father Bryan. Striped cat going on behind my back, friends of the ministry, I thought, and they were calling me Father Bryan.
Just heard more tall tales about Philip, what Philip said about me. Philip, why don't you tell everybody that you kept and will not give back my birth certificate and my social security card? Why don't you talk about that? If you want to involve the government in your finances and in our marriage that you did, in your previous marriage after you already creepily obsessed with Bryan Denlinger, and why didn't you tell him about our wedding night when for our wedding night you wanted to do color pencils with Brother Bryan? Did you ever tell him that? Anyway, why don't you tell him about when Marie came over after we had worked on making our bedroom this beautiful sanctuary, and Marie, your daughter, her bedroom a beautiful sanctuary, and I came home and you were right before that, what was that, a day or 2 days before that you set up the ministry office for her to watch Beetlejuice after your preaching against Hollywood movies. And then I come home and she's tucked into my side of the bed, and you and her are watching Carol Burnett movies, throwing M&Ms at each other. This was just last year. This was not that long ago, people. And he still has my birth certificate and my social security card and made it illegal for me to go get my things. Why don't you tell people about that, Philip? You're a real piece of work, you know that? The Air Force did a lot of good for you. He said, don't involve the government in our marriage. He married another woman, was still married after he was obsessed with Brother Bryan, married her, and then married me, wouldn't produce a certificate of divorce from her. And there's a whole other thing on that too, because he said he thought he might be married, and I stopped talking to him for 2 weeks. And I said, I really care about you, Philip, but I'm not even going to go about getting involved with somebody that could be still married, because I won't involve myself. I fear the Lord, and I won't get into... He's an adulterous relationship. And then he calls me 2 weeks later. He's a liar, because I found out he's still married to her. Why didn't you guys do your own research? He set up the ministry office for his daughter to watch Beetlejuice. And then when I walked in on them, not a couple days later, watching Carol Burnett movies, throwing M&Ms at each other, her tucked into my side of the bed, I left crying. I took his truck because I didn't want her to... Her and I were really close, and she always felt like she could talk to me. And I didn't want her to see me mad at her dad and crying. So I took the truck and left, and he told everybody that I left drinking and driving. My entire family, all my cousins, my mom, my sister, my brother, they all know I would never do that. I did that 13 years ago, and I would never, ever, ever do that again. Ever. And he falsely accused me. so he can go stick it where the sun don't shine.
Just miracles and causing Maine to be whole. That's still the one that just boggles my mind. People coming up and their legs cut off, the Lord's touching them and their leg regrows. The Lord's touching them and their leg regrows. And they're seeing that to be whole. That's still the one that just boggles my mind. People coming up and their legs cut off, the Lord's touching them and their leg. Family that went, my oldest brother was a Christian rock guy, had a band, we went to his concerts. I saw what that music did to his children when they were in the room and his wife was experienced. I know how bad those. I saw what that music did to his children when they were. I come from a family that went. My oldest brother was a Christian rock guy, had a band. We went to his concerts. I saw what that music did to his children when they were in the room. I come from a family.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky.